Dear classmate, we will continue chapter number 5, that is circulatory system. So today in this session we'll talk about the human heart, okay? We'll talk about the human heart, which is called the pumping organ, okay? This is your pumping organ, alright? Human heart is very important organ that you find in the circulatory system. All right. So its size is as big as the as big as one's folded fist. Okay, this big. Okay, the size of the heart is, and it weighs about 225 gram to 340 gram, okay, and is mainly located in the center of our chest cavity, slightly tilted towards the left, all right, and it is mainly made up of a special type of muscle which is called cardiac muscle, okay, is made up of a special type of muscle called cardiac muscle, all right, and it always relaxes and contracts continuously till till we breathe. That means till we take the last breath. It continuously relaxes and contracts. All right. Then the main function of this heart in the circulatory system is to receive the blood and distribute the blood to different parts of the body. That means its function is to receive and distribute the blood to different parts of the body. All right, and it's enclosed within a double membrane. It is enclosed within a double membrane there. All right, and this double membrane, the case within which it is, enclosed, all right, is made up of double membranes, or is made up of two membranes, or the case is made up of two membranes. Means the case is double membraned, and this double membrane, okay, that means these two membranes of this case, all right, contains a kind of fluid in between these two membranes to avoid the friction there, and that fluid is called pericardial fluid, okay, that fluid is called pericardial fluid, okay, that you find between the membranes of the case in which it is enclosed. All right, then let us talk about the structure of this one. Okay, first we'll talk about the chambers of the heart. Chambers. All right, chambers. Human heart contains 4 chambers. Human heart means mammalian heart. All right, mammalian heart has got 4 chambers there. 4 chambers. 4 chambers. Okay, mammalian heart contains 4 chambers, and they are here: right auricle, all right, left auricle, all right, right ventricle, and left ventricle. All right, 4 chamber. We have got 4 chambered heart. They are right auricle. This auricle is also termed as atrium. All right, right atrium, left atrium. Similarly, there we have right ventricle and left ventricle. All right, and this right atrium or left atrium or right auricle and this left auricles are smaller chambers compared to these ventricles. That means these 2 chambers, which are in the upper portion of this heart, are smaller than the lower chambers of the heart, which are called ventricles. All right, then you see here this left side and right side of the heart. This is right side and this is left side. These 2 sides of the heart, are mainly separated by this region, okay, by this portion of this heart, and this portion of this heart is called septum. See, septum, septum. Septum is the partition of these 2 sides of the heart. Alright, septum. Okay, and see here, another thing you see here is, see, left auricle and this right auricle are separated from this lower sides of the heart or lower chambers of the heart by means of the valves. Okay, by means of the valves there. That means valves are there which separate these upper chambers and the lower chambers. That means auricles and ventricles are separated by means of these two types of valves. Alright, so in this right side, the valves which separate the right auricle and right ventricle. That means the chamber, the valves which separate right auricle from the right ventricle, are called tricuspid valves. Are called what? Tricuspid valves. That means here you find three cups or valves. Three cups. Okay, mono, di, and tri. Mono, di, and tri. See, three cups you find out here, which are called tricuspid valves. The tricuspid valves are the ones which separate the right auricle from the right ventricle. Alright, similarly on the other side, that means on the left side, you see the upper region and the lower region. That means right or left auricle and the left ventricle are separated by means of the bicuspid valves. That means there the valves are there which consists of the two valves or two cups. That means the valve with the bicuspid valves means valves which have got the two cups out there. So this separate the upper chamber and the lower chamber in the left side of the heart. That means left auricle is separated from the left ventricle by means of this bicuspid valves. Alright, and the blood actually what happens is that they flow through this. First, the upper chamber of the heart, that is your left auricle and the right auricle actually first receive the blood. They receive the blood. The question might be asked, what is the function of the right auricle or the left auricle like that? What is the function of right auricle? What is the function of left auricle? The function of right auricle is to receive the impure blood. The function of the left auricle is to receive the pure blood. Please remember here one thing. This right side of the heart is the one which deals with the impure blood. Impure blood means deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood means the blood which contains more carbon dioxide, okay, which is rich in carbon dioxide. Alright, and the other side, your left side, is the one which deals with the pure blood or oxygenated blood, blood which is rich in oxygen. Alright, so what happens out here is that, see, the blood this side here, as you see here, the pulmonary veins, alright, then here you see the other two pulmonary veins out here, you see here, pulmonary veins, these two pulmonary veins, see, these two pulmonary veins, alright, these veins, arteries and all that come under your vessels, blood vessels, that we deal afterwards. First, let me tell you the structure of this one, what is the function and all, that I have to tell you first. So we're talking about the chambers, 4 chambers, then the blood, the upper chamber, from upper chambers the blood is flowing down to the lower chamber, that is your ventricle. Alright, then first this is the structure that you see out here. Alright, okay, then your tricuspid valves, your bicuspid valves, which separate the right auricle from the right ventricle and left auricle from the left ventricle respectively. That's what I have told you. Alright, then this is all about the chambers and the other associated parts you find there in the heart. Then after finishing the chamber, let's talk about the blood vessels. You see blood vessels now. Okay, blood vessels. Alright, then I'll tell you the mechanism. How does the blood flow here. Okay, first I've told you everything, like the chambers and all, 4 chambered heart and all I've written. Now let us talk about the blood vessels. that you see here, blood vessels. Blood vessels. Alright, so we know there are three kinds of blood vessels as we have discussed there, arteries, veins and capillaries. So here we see mainly arteries and veins. Alright, see here, this is what you see out here, the big vessel. That's your artery here. Okay, that's artery here, which opens into the left ventricle directly. See here, this is left ventricle. It directly opens into the left ventricle. Then pulmonary artery is there. So artery, the biggest artery is aorta. A-O-R-T-A, aorta, not aorta, aorta. Okay, aorta. So that's the largest artery which directly opens into the left ventricle. Then the other artery, other type of artery, which is called pulmonary artery. See, that pulmonary artery, you see being opened from the right ventricle here. All right, right ventricle you see out here. All right. Then see, this aorta, the aorta, the biggest or the largest artery, you see here, having, which is open into this one, left ventricle, and this one into right ventricle. All right, and in the opening of this one you see here, we find the valves again, which are called semilunar valves. Okay, this one is semilunar valves of artery or aorta. This is the semilunar valve of pulmonary artery. Okay, so they look like, you know, they look like half moon. They look like what? Half moon. So they are called semilunar valves. Okay, semilunar valves. All right. So all the valves present out here in between these two chambers, and here in the opening of these two types of arteries, the valves which are present there all have got their own functions. All right. So here the valve which is out here in between this chamber, make sure that the blood flows downward. Once the blood flows downward to the ventricle, the blood will not flow back to the auricle. It will not happen so because there is valve. In the same way here, once the blood flows downward from here, it has to flow from auricle to ventricle. So after flowing from flowing from here to here, so the blood will not flow back because of the valve. Similarly, when the blood has to flow here, flow through this artery, flow through this aorta or artery, the blood will not flow down, will not flow back. It will not flow back into the ventricle again because what are there? There are valves. So the function of the valve is to make the flow of the blood in the unidirection. Okay, that means in one direction, which will not allow the blood to flow backward. All right, that's the main function of these valves. All right, so I was talking about the blood vessels here. First, let me tell you about this artery, pulmonary artery, that opens into the right ventricle, and then aorta, which is the largest artery, that opens into the left ventricle. All right, then we have two big veins out here. They are called superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. See here, superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. This superior vena cava collects the blood, deoxygenated blood, means impure blood rich in carbon dioxide, from the upper region of the body, like head, from your shoulder. The blood, deoxygenated blood, will be collected here in the right auricle. In the same way, this inferior vena cava collects the blood from our lower region of the body, okay, like trunk, okay, and the legs. From there, the blood will be collected here into the right auricle again. All right. So here, superior vena cava also collects the blood from the upper region into the right auricle, and inferior vena cava also collects the impure blood from lower region into the right auricle. All right, that is there. Then we have got veins. See, we have got, these are the veins, and we have got two pairs of pulmonary veins out here. That means the pulmonary veins which are coming from two different lungs. We have got right lungs and left lungs. So here you see pulmonary veins. Pulmonary veins out here bring the pure blood. Remember here, oxygenated blood from the lungs, from the left lungs, okay, from the left lungs into the left auricle, the blood which is purified, because in the lungs what happens, the blood will be purified, so that purified blood will be brought here into the left auricle by the pulmonary veins coming from the left lungs. Similarly, here you see pulmonary veins, okay, pulmonary veins again you see coming from the right lungs, which bring the deoxygenated blood, or I mean pure blood, sorry, oxygenated blood back into the left lung again, left auricle again. All right, this also bring the pure blood into the left auricle, okay, from the left lung. And this one again, here you see pulmonary veins also bring the pure blood or oxygenated blood from the right lung again into the left auricle, not here but in the left auricle. It's just showing, okay, it just goes from behind here into the left auricle. Okay, so these are the two types of, these are the pulmonary veins. Okay, now we'll see blood circulation. Okay, blood circulation. Okay, let us see now how does the blood circulation take place through the human heart. All right, now see, I have already explained all about the different kinds of veins, different kinds of blood vessels there, and the chambers. All right, and their function also more or less I have told, and also the different kinds of valves present out there and their functions, everything I have mentioned. Now let's see the blood circulation, how does it take place there. Okay, now see, I have already explained also about the the function or the role being played by the right side of the heart and the left side of the heart. Okay, I have already told you that this entire right side is responsible for dealing with the impure blood, and this left side is the one which deals with the pure blood. Okay, now see, this auricle, right auricle, okay, I have already told you 4 chambers: right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, left ventricle, left auricle and left ventricle. See, this right auricle receives the impure blood, okay, or deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body, through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava. I have already told you, superior vena cava is the one that collects impure blood from the upper region of the body, that is head and shoulder, and this inferior vena cava collects impure blood from the lower region of the body, like trunk, like legs. Okay, so like that. Okay, then what happens? Then in the meantime, simultaneously on the other side, okay, your left auricle receives the pure blood. Okay, left auricle receives the pure blood from the 2 different lungs, right lungs and left lungs. See, this pulmonary veins bring the pure blood into the left auricle, and I have told you before also, this pulmonary veins bring the pure blood, oxygenated blood from the right lung into this left auricle. That means now left auricle receives the pure blood here. Same time, okay, here impure blood, here pure blood. Alright, then what happens? This upper region will slightly contract. Alright, then push down the respective blood into the respective chambers downward. See, from this impure blood goes down to the right ventricle. From left auricle, the pure blood goes down to the, or pushes down to the left ventricle through this valves, through this valve. That time the valves remain open so that the blood goes down Here also the blood, this valve remain open, the blood will go down. Then it closes so that the blood will not flow back. Alright, the function of the valve I told you, that's the one. Then what happens is that after some time, once the blood comes down, immediately what happens is that this region, this ventricle now contract. Okay, it will contract. Once it contracts, the force is there, or force is formed. With that force, now the respective blood from this respective, chambers, is pushed out. Okay, the blood from here, suppose the blood which is out here will be pushed out through this pulmonary artery. Okay, pulmonary artery, and from here the pure blood is pushed out to the different parts of the body through this aorta. Alright, see here, let me tell you once again. So once the blood is collected out here in the ventricle, then it will contract. Once it contracts, or once these ventricles are contracted, the blood, these two different types of blood, here the impure blood, here the pure blood. Okay, these two different kinds of bloods, are now pushed out to the different parts of the body. So which are the different parts of the body? Now see here, this which you see here, this, alright, through here, see, yeah, you see here, it's going through here. So this is aorta. So from this left ventricle, the pure blood is pushed out to the different parts of the body through this aorta or artery. That means this artery or aorta will carry the pure blood from the left ventricle to the different parts of the body. Simultaneously, here, okay, this impure blood from the ventricle, is taken away to the lungs. So this pulmonary artery will take it to the left lung, and the other pulmonary artery will carry the impure blood to the right lung. For what? For purification. Okay. Then once the blood is purified, there in the lungs, then again the process continues. Okay, this mechanism goes on. Okay, the impure blood after the purification in the lungs will be brought here, and the impure blood from the different parts of the body will be brought here in the right auricle, then it will be pushed down here in the right ventricle. Similarly, from here the pure blood will be pushed down to the left ventricle. Then once they contract, then again the respective blood will be taken to the different parts of the body. As I told you, aorta will be taking it to the different cells of the body, whereas this pulmonary artery, okay, which you see here, will be taking the blood to the lungs for purification. So this is how the blood circulation takes place through the human heart. So it is called the pumping organ. So it pumps and distributes. It collects and distribute the blood to different parts of the body. Okay, that's the main function of this organ, which is a very important organ in the circulatory system. So let me tell you once again. So this, relax, once the heart is relaxed, okay, once the heart relaxes, then what happens? The heart will be filled with blood. Okay, once it relaxes, the blood will be filled in. Alright, then soon after that, this will also relax, then it will come down, then they will contract. Once they are contracted, then the blood will be pushed out from the heart. It goes on. Alright, so this contraction and relaxation, or this relaxation and contraction, continuously go on in a rhythmic pattern, so that a kind of sound is also heard, which is called lub dub like that. And this contraction, relaxation go on about 72 times per minute. Okay, about 72 times per minute. Okay, so this is how the blood circulation takes place through the human heart. So today we'll do only this much, and we'll continue in the next session. Alright, please try to draw the diagram and try to understand how the different parts are involved here in the heart, and how does the blood flow through the human heart. Please try to understand it with the help of diagram. Okay, and then in the book also everything is shown with the help of arrow, and arrow will make you understand where the blood is flowing. Okay, and where from the blood is coming into the heart. Everything is shown here. Please try to understand it with the help of diagram. Alright, so today we'll do only this much. I hope you have understood, and I still believe that you people open the book and try to understand it thoroughly. Alright, thank you very much.